Hey, I wanted to jump on today and just share a little bit about how starting my own business has really empowered me in like every area of my life. Um, I feel like I have so much to say about this. Um, but the one thing I really didn't expect was the huge spiritual shift. I know that a lot of people get really weird, like talking about or hearing about this kind of subject, but one of the biggest shifts for me in my business and life was really tapping into my spiritual side, and it's been completely life changing. So when I first met my sales coach, she introduced me to someone who has become one of my favorite people ever and one of my best friends, and that is Irena Miller. And she is an intuitive energy guide and energy alchemist. And if you're new to this type of thing, it might sound a little bit strange, and you might not be sure what that actually means. But, oh, sorry, toddler needed a fork. So, anyways, when I first was looking for a business coach, I just put it out there into the universe that, this is what I need help with. And she found me. Like, I don't even remember how, but she found me. And then she introduced me to Irena. So it's just, I get like emotional, like thinking back to like where I was. And then when I met Renee and then Irena, like how my life just so drastically changed for the better because of me getting the support I needed. So, a year and a half ago, if you had, mentioned anything like meditation or oracle cards or anything like, you know, different out of the box, I would have probably rolled my eyes or laughed or, I am a nurse. So I'm very like, my brain is very like, science driven and like facts and like very like much more modern, right? Like just I don't know. But okay, so what I want to say is they helped open my mind and eyes to more, and my life has changed so drastically since then. So a year and a half ago, I met them in Las Vegas, and I knew I was going to meet Renee and some other people in her mastermind, but I didn't know anything else. I like went and just like took a leap of faith, left my baby for the first time. He was 2.5 at the time, and took a leap of faith. So I went and I met the most incredible group of women who have been vital to my success and mental stability, probably, and a lot of other things. But when I met Irena, I remember the first thing she said to me when she like clasped my hands and she said, "Ooh," she's like, "You've got a spicy energy, like hot caliente," like something like that. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know what that means, but I like her. Like, I was drawn to her. And now, like, a year and a half later, like I said, she's one of my very like closest friends. Like, I discovered something in me that I didn't even know was there, and talents I have, and so many of my needs are met because of the practices she's taught me and the support I get from her. So I want to share something because a lot of people don't quite understand like how doing energy work and spiritual work can help you in your business. So the first thing is like meditation. Like most people have at least heard of meditation, even if they don't really know what it is. And I remember, my dad's always meditated, and I always just thought it was weird and didn't understand it. But as I've been researching and studying all of these successful entrepreneurs, that's one of the key factors that they all do. They all meditate, they all exercise, they all consistently do some kind of practice. And their meditations could look totally different. One could be like sitting there with their eyes closed and, their fingers in a certain position, like, you see pictures of, you see in the movies. Other ones are doing like active meditation. So they're like out rowing and that's their meditation. They're fishing, that's their meditation. Whatever it could be something totally different. But basically when I think of, meditation, for me, it's usually a quiet activity, but sometimes it's also me just going by myself and going hiking, going exploring by myself. And for me, I it's the time where I get all of my downloads. Like I get my great ideas, all of the things that I forgot, like I was supposed to remember, they come flooding in. And until I do that, my brain just feels like a hot mess, foggy, crazy place. So I really have to be consistent with my meditation, whether it's active or, just me relaxing. That's why I get a lot of my great ideas in the middle of the night, because I finally have like stopped and slowed down and let my brain just quiet, and then it gets flooded. So my fix for that, which is actually working out really well, is making sure that I'm meditating in the morning and at night. And that really helps to have less of those middle of the night downloads. But anyways, so going back to the one practice I wanted to share. So after working with Irena for one-on-one for a year, I finally started to start taking practices she taught me and really putting them into my business, which I knew that that's what she did, but I didn't, I didn't quite get it. I was doing it all and it was great, but I didn't quite get it. And finally it clicked. And as she continues to support me through this, it's amazing, because there's times where I will do something that she would have done for me, and I could tell she's like the student has become the teacher, not the teacher, but you know what I mean? She sees that I'm doing new things. So anyway, so something that I've started to do is pulling oracle cards, not only for myself, which I do for myself every day to help guide me, but also to help guide me to best serve my students, my clients, my audience. So I want to show you an example. So today I had a live call with the students in my VA training group. And so I had my cards and I asked, my guides, and I said, how can I best support the women in my VA training group today? And the card that I drew was this one. It's beautiful. If you can see, it's the Angel of Strength. I don't know if you can see it, but that lion is so fierce, but he's also got pink on him, and the angel does too. There's splashes of pink, which for me, so I'm not a card expert, but I do know how to use them. There's my toddler.
You want to see it?
Yep, he wants to see the lion. But this is one of the things that Irena teaches, is how to use your intuition to guide your life, your business, whatever, everything. And one of those things is to use these cards. And for me, the way I see this, that pink with the beautiful angel and the fierce lion, and that pink really made me think of the feminine energy, which is something that we are shifting more into now, which is beautiful and incredible and super exciting. And then the strength, the strength and the fierceness of the lion, it really is, it basically told me what I needed to talk about today. So if you ever in your business struggle with what should I talk about today? What should I go live about? How what does my audience need to know? Obviously business 101 is ask your audience what they need, right? What do they need? But if you're in a place where you're what do I, I've asked them and I've answered the same thing over and over again, or they're not telling me, well, obviously, maybe you need to be more creative with their questions. But I started using cards so that I can intuitively tune into their energy and figure out what it is they need support in. So when I saw this card, it was yes. And then I started thinking about it, and I was oh yeah, last week I had a lot of people in my group ask me when should I do this? When should I tell someone, let's get on a discovery call? Because that's something that can be a fear thing when you're a new online service provider. And it reminded me that a lot of the questions I had, the underlying issue was fear, and maybe a little bit of imposter syndrome, maybe a lot of it. And it just really, this was a reminder, is okay, I need to get to the root. So I can keep answering their questions, but if I don't get to the root cause and really work through that, they're gonna keep asking the same questions, and they're not gonna feel empowered. And that's a big thing that's important to me, is empowering women. So that's one way that I use energy work and in my intuition in my business, is using these cards to help direct me. And I had, before I pulled it, I was like, what am I going to talk about today? But after I pulled this, I had a whole session of stuff to talk about, and it was beautiful and incredible and super, super exciting. So that's one way that by tuning into your own intuition and by putting these practices into your life and into your business, it completely changes everything for you and gives you ideas on what to go live about. Like, how awesome is that? Like, that's huge. And just, you know, so many parts of my life, like, let's see, where we were. So a year ago, so let's go back a little bit further, a little over a year ago, you know, I was living in Oregon and didn't want to be there anymore and wanted to change my business, and everything just felt like up in the air and a mess. And by working with Irena and really tuning into my desires and my, you know, purpose in life, and I mean, all these things, right? I was able to make some big changes. So now we're, you know, from the time I like put my house on the market in Oregon and the whole, you know, moving from the mainland to Hawaii, here I am in Hawaii. It took about 6 months from the time we put the house on the market in the beginning of December of 2019, and it sold in February. I mean, closed in February. It sold in January. And we moved to Hawaii in March. And it's been a crazy, wild ride. But if I didn't have these practices to, you know, support me, like, I don't think I ever would have made these big shifts. I don't know that I ever would have made the shifts in my personal life or in my business. My business has changed drastically since then as well, because I'm following guidance and I'm following my dreams and finally taking steps to move forward instead of staying stuck in one place, being miserable and just doing things because, you know, it's working and it's easy, but that's not what I wanted. So anyways, all of this to say, my life has changed in so many incredible ways since meeting Irena, and I am just so grateful for her. I'm so grateful for Renee. Both of them have changed my life in huge ways. But I specifically wanted to share about, you know, how I use some energy practices in my business, and the cards are just one way. So that's something she taught me how to do. She taught me how to listen to my intuition and how to use these different spiritual practices in my business. And like I said, it's changed my life so drastically. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And let me know if you have any questions. I've got all these fun things that she's taught me how to do, and I highly encourage you to go follow her. She has an amazing group program now that is like, oh my gosh, so freaking cool. It talks a lot about like the moon cycles, and as a female, like so many of us don't even like realize how impactful the moon cycles are on our entire lives, on our moods, not just like our cycle, but like everything, like so many things in our lives. And it's been another huge game changer. So definitely check that out. Inside of the Moon. It's amazing. Like, I just love it. Okay. Have a great day.